A few people have asked me to make a video about my communication device. So, here it is. My particular model is called a DynaVox V Max. It's basically a computer that has special communication software installed on it. It has Windows XP as the operating system, and it pretty much has all the capabilities of a regular computer. It just has a very small hard drive. It runs on a rechargeable battery and lasts 4 to 6 hours. It came with an external USB CD drive, so you can install programs on it if you want. I only installed Microsoft Word on mine because I absolutely need it. I avoid installing anything that's not absolutely vital because it really slows the DynaVox down. There are various ways of using a DynaVox. Someone like me, who has use of their hand, can use it by the touch screen, or through the use of a USB mouse, or a USB keyboard. I use it with my mouse and keyboard when I need to edit large amounts of text. A person who is unable to use their hand, but has good control of their head can use a DynaVox with a head stick, or a mouth stick. If someone doesn't have the ability to control their head, but can hit a switch with any part of their body, they can use the DynaVox software by what's called a scanning method. A jelly bean switch gets plugged into the DynaVox, and someone turns on the scanning selection method. The DynaVox then highlights a row of buttons. For the sake of this example, let's say the person is on a page with an alphabetical keyboard and wants to select the letter G. Let's say that one row of buttons has the letters A through F on it. The DynaVox would highlight each row. In this specific example, the letter G is on the second row. So, when the second row gets highlighted, the person would hit the switch. The DynaVox would then begin highlighting each button on that row, starting with the first button on the row, which, in this example, is the letter G. The person would then hit the switch when G was highlighted. That's how the scanning method works. Fortunately, I have the ability to select buttons when I want to, without having to rely on the scanning method. The last method of using a DynaVox is by eye movement. This would be used by a person who is unable to move at all, or it would be used as an alternative to the scanning method. In order for a person to control a DynaVox with their eyes, a special sensor has to be purchased. This sensor is called an IMAX and can only be used with the DynaVox V Max. This is a fairly new device. I graduated from a high school for physically disabled kids in 2007. So, I've never seen it used, and I don't know much about it. From what I read online, it works by having someone look at a particular button, and it selects it that way. Or, the person can look at a particular button and blink, and that would select it. Like most adapted equipment, the IMAX is very expensive. This is due to the small amount of people who buy these devices. In order to make a profit, prices have to be high. People have wondered how my DynaVox knows what I want to say. Well, I type in what I want to say. It has an on-screen keyboard that allows the user to type in what they want to say. When they type, the letters go into what's called a message window. When the person is finished typing, they hit the message window, and the DynaVox speaks what was typed. The DynaVox has multiple pre-made on-screen keyboards for the user to choose from, such as various sized alphabetical keyboards and various sized QWERTY keyboards. I use one of the QWERTY keyboards because I'm so familiar with that layout from constantly using my computer keyboard. If you really wanted to, You could make a custom keyboard. Some keyboard pages have word prediction to speed up the person's typing. When the person begins typing the word Saturday, for example, the word prediction will start guessing words that begin with S. Each time the person adds a letter, the word prediction guesses more words with those particular letters. Saturday. Every DynaVox comes with pre-programmed series of pages. They're set up according to ages. They are referred to as users. There is a child user, a teen user, and an adult user. I've only seen the teen user on this particular model, but on an older model, I saw the child user. It had much larger buttons and had many symbols on the buttons, so if a child was too young to know how to read, they would still be able to use the device. Each user comes with commonly used words and phrases. For example, the pre-programmed talk page in the teen user has "What's up?" What's up? Each page can be customized with the person's commonly used phrases and personal information, such as their name and age. So they don't have to type it out each time they get asked those questions. That way, all they would have to do was modify a button on a particular page once. Program it to say, "My name is Nicole," and all they would have to do was hit that particular button, and it would say, "My name is Nicole." My name is Nicole. The DynaVox has multiple pre-programmed voices, both male and female. They even have children's voices. The person using the DynaVox can hear samples of the voices and choose whichever one they like best.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
I bet a lot of ignorant people assume that my parents program things into my DynaVox, because the ignorant people think that I can't possibly have the intelligence to do it myself, when, in fact, it's quite the opposite. My parents are not tech-savvy people. Fortunately, I am. So, learning a device like a DynaVox comes easily. In fact, I'm studying information technology in college, and hope to go into the field of tech support one day. You may be wondering how I program large amounts of text into the DynaVox. Unlike most people, I don't type large amounts of text on the DynaVox itself. Since the DynaVox has 2 USB ports, and I have a flash drive, I type it on my computer, because it's just easier for me to edit. When I'm finished, I save it on my flash drive, plug it in the DynaVox, open it up in Microsoft Word, and just copy and paste it into the DynaVox software. Once it's in the DynaVox software, I have to edit it more, because sometimes it runs words together or mispronounces words. When it runs words together, all I have to do is add extra punctuation. When it mispronounces words, I have to change the pronunciation settings. I get it to pronounce words correctly by spelling them phonetically. Sometimes I get lucky and get it right the first time. Other times, it takes 3 or 4 times to get the correct pronunciation. Editing large amounts of text on the DynaVox can be quite tedious and time-consuming. So, when I'm typing it up on my computer, I try to anticipate how it will sound on the DynaVox, and I add extra punctuation where I think it will run words together or speak too fast. A DynaVox can do more than serve as someone's voice. It has the ability to make phone calls, send text messages, and control anything that has a remote control. I don't have my DynaVox set up to make calls and send text messages because I have a cell phone. However, I have tried controlling devices that have remotes. I thought it would be very difficult and complicated to do, but it was actually ridiculously easy. The DynaVox has an infrared sensor, and all you have to do is go to the IR control setting, go to the option for the DynaVox to learn a specific infrared action, such as turning on the TV. Then, point the TV remote at the infrared sensor on the DynaVox and hit the power button on the remote. Now, the DynaVox can turn on the TV. Then, you would modify your button to perform the action of turning on the TV. You would repeat this process for each infrared action. It's quite cool. really hope that I have explained my DynaVox in a way that you can understand. It's not easy to explain to people who have never worked with it before. Feel free to ask questions if anything is unclear or if you're curious about something. I will do my best to answer your questions. I may not be able to answer your questions immediately because schoolwork takes up most of my time. But I promise that I will respond eventually. Thank you.